Happy Thursday, everyone. It's time for last call over here on WagerTalk. It's Thursday. It's Thursday night football, and we have a matchup here between the the Miami Dolphins. I pause when I say their name because do they really feel like a football team right now? And the Buffalo Bills, but this is an AFC East rivalry matchup here, and the spread is large. We're looking here at the Miami Dolphins grabbing 11 and a half. There are some 11s out there, and then we're looking at this total. It's all the way up to 50 and a half, which gives me a little bit of concern. Who's going to score those points for the Miami Dolphins? Can the Buffalo Bills shut them down and send Mike McDaniels packing? We got to see what's going to happen with the coaching staff here if they get blown out of the water. But we've got a loaded show, so make sure you jump into the comments, drop your questions, drop your comments in there for the handicappers on today. We're going to go over all of their best bets in these games. So we're going to have the largest spread of week 3 here in this matchup, you guys. We have the Prez stepping in first. We'll have Carmine Bianco following him up with some props, and then Adam Trigger to finish it off. And as we go over this, make sure you do open your odds logic page. Getting the best of those lines is pivotal when you're betting sports day in and day out. But I'm seeing all of your comments, your questions popping in here, so make sure you continue to pop those in. We're going to jump in right away. We're going to bring in the Prez, see what he's liking in this pivotal Thursday night matchup for the Miami Dolphins. Prez, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jo Madden. Honored and privileged to be here. I'm going to answer Leg's question first. Do you mind?
Perfect.
So Rice and Charlotte are playing tonight, and Legs, I like the under in this game a lot. You want me to break it down, Joe, or just give it the under?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hear why you're liking the under between them.
Okay, so I get that this is a sexy game. I mean, the world is going to stop to watch this game. With that said, it's going to be pretty damn boring. Let's start with Rice. They've decided to run a ground and pound option style offense. I don't know what they're optioning. It's not going well. This is the most horrible option offense ever. This team has 5 explosive plays all season off of an option offense. I don't think they understand the definition of option. Whatever the case may be, horrible offense. On the other side, you got a Charlotte team. This team can throw the ball a little. I get it. But their run game, as bad as Rice's option offense. It's a complete joke. Joe, Charlotte's run game is averaging 3 yards per game. There are some men out there that just need to see a picture of Sidney Sweeney, and they can run more than 3 yards by standing still. I mean, I can fall more than 3 yards.
Yeah, definitely could.
And the Charlotte offense is completely one-dimensional to boot. Now, I understand they put up big offensive numbers last week. I get it. They played Monmouth, or whatever the hell you pronounce that place that no one outside of America has ever heard of. So let's recap. Take the under, Legs. Okay, There's my breakdown on the Charlotte Rice.
Oh, I love it.
And Joe, I'm 6-0, perfect in college football totals this year.
Yeah, you're absolutely crushing it. And if anyone's looking for your football best bets, we know we've got the Weekend Warrior for your Saturday, Sunday plays out there. So you guys want to make sure you jump on those as well. Just $49 for those Saturday, Sunday plays that Prez is going to be putting out, and all of the handicappers over here at WagerTalk. Okay, so Rice, Charlotte, you're playing the under. That's a 42.5. But let's talk this Thursday night football team, the Miami Dolphins. Do they have a better offense than Rice and Charlotte combined, or what are you thinking here for them?
It's an interesting question. Firstly, I see Lou Permal in the chat. I wanted to say hi. I never get to say hi to these people anymore. I don't do live shows. Look, I break this game down like this. Buffalo's going to win the game. I don't think I can lay that many points. Miami could have got out of last week's game 1-1. And Mike McDaniel and everybody would just be feeling a whole lot better right now. This guy's career is on the line. I actually think that if he loses his head coaching position at Miami, he will never be a head coach in the NFL again. I think he might find his way to college football, but I think his head coaching career is on the line, and it's on the line tonight. And frankly, Tua's career is pretty close to being on the line as well. You got Tyreek Hill, who's having conniption fits. Waddle is pissed. If this team doesn't get it together tonight, they're done. I'm not betting into that, Joe. I have to believe that there's some kind of pride on that team. I have to assume that these are professional athletes. I have to think that they're going to show up. This is on primetime TV. You got all of these people saying, oh, they're going to give up. They're going to quit on their coach. They're going to quit on their coach in the third game of the year. They have their own contracts to get. They got their own money to make. They got their own family to feed. They're not quitting on their coach.
Oh, they absolutely can.
With that said, I can't bet Miami here. How do you bet Miami? So for me, I'm looking at it like this. I think Miami is going to get 17 points. You can get over 16 and a half at minus 160. I love that bet. So when you ask me, will Miami score? I think they're going to score. I don't know if they're going to get into the 20s, but I think 2 touchdowns and a field goal is doable. Maybe 4 field goals and a touchdown with a 2-pointer. I think it's 3 a touchdown and a 2-pointer. That gets us to 17-2. I think we're going to get 17 points out of Miami.
I like where you're going there. I was flirting with taking that first half total for Miami. It was sitting at 9.5, and I thought maybe looking at the full game, but that's a nice full game over that number. Who do you think then Tua's going to put the ball?
Oh, I could care less. Talk to the prop guys about which person he's going to throw the damn ball to. I have a couple of prop bets for you, but they're not as random as, is it going to be Waddle? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill? By the way, Tyreek Hill has never gone over 70 yards against Buffalo. So maybe look to take the under. Buffalo's figured him out. As well, why would Tua even throw to that guy? He's such a prick. With that said, I think that my original plan was to look to see if I could take Buffalo over, but it was 30 and a half points. And I was like, that's just too many points. I mean, they could be up 28-3 and just, call it a day. So I didn't want to go over 30 and a half, but I thought to myself, Buffalo's getting 28, 27. So Miami is going to have no choice to keep up. So the more points Buffalo scores, the more likely Miami scores. The faster Buffalo scores, the faster Miami gets the ball back. So instead of trying to attack this as a full game over, I looked at it as Buffalo's going to score. Miami has to keep up 17 points. Oh my God, Cleveland can put up 17 points. Take that over.
Let's keep our fingers crossed that Tua can get that ball moving down the field against Buffalo's defense. You're right, though. I think they have to be able to get 17 points in this game. Looks like a nice number, the 16 and a half to the over, Prez. And then Rice and Charlotte to the under 42 and a half in that one.
And I did make 2 prop bets that I want to give out. Bill Sandoval just wrote, Tua has a huge contract. Yeah, I know. Fine. Okay. Tua has a new contract. The whole of Miami does not have a huge contract. And I'm sure Tua's contract isn't guaranteed for the next 8 years either. Because, for some reason in the NFL football, you can sign contracts that don't mean anything. However, bets, Josh Allen, I'm sure Carmine is going to give you a Josh Allen quote. I wish we could bring him on right now. Let's see if he'll give us Carmine, whisper in my ear. Are you giving out a Josh Allen quote?
I am not giving out a Josh Allen quote unless it is that this team is sick. They're the Bills, their team, they're absolutely sick. And I'm not talking about a flu or anything hitting the team tonight. They're just a sick team.
Sick,
they
baby.
Score points.
Sick in the way that fire has now become good.
Yes.
Well,
and my 10-year-old niece keeps saying slay. She'll text me over and over again. Slay, uncle, slay.
Well, I like Josh Allen over 29 and a half yards rushing. Tell me how he's going under that. One of you guys. That seems like one run to me.
I don't think it's a game in which you need to put Josh Allen in a position where he needs to run. When you have Wood and you also have Ray Davis, who's gonna get a lot of carries, I think, tonight as well too. But I will say one thing, Prez, if Joe doesn't mind. You said that Tyreek Hill hasn't gotten over 70. The Bills have figured him out. Last year, four catches on 5 targets in Buffalo for 80 yards. In Miami, his numbers are putrid against the Bills. In Buffalo, all in losing situations, though. All in losing situations. He is 80, 58, 69, and 69 the last 4 games in Buffalo for Tyreek Hill, yards-wise.
Kelly's going to get so mad at me. She's going to be like, I'm the producer of the show, and I did not say Carmine and you could be on together. So I apologize, Joe. I'm impossible to keep in a cage.
It's okay. I don't want to put you in a cage, Prez. I do want to ask you, though, if you're concerned about Josh Allen's broken nose, though, if that's going to maybe stop him from running out there because he doesn't want to get hurt again. He doesn't want that nose in the cage.
Joe, sharks eat fish. I eat meat. Women pee sitting down. Josh Allen runs the ball. Like, what he's going to think in his head, oh, stop, Josh! I see 30 yards of free space, but I have a broken nose. I'm going to just not run.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm with you. He's going to run.
You run. And the fact that they might not draw up a lot of plays for him, when do they ever? The dude runs when he decides to run, and he doesn't run when he decides not to run. He's not a guy they're drawing. When was the last quarterback draw you ever saw Josh Allen take?
Can't think of one.
Right. He doesn't run off of plays. He runs because when it breaks down in front of him, his fight or flight takes over and he runs forward. Unlike people on Charlotte, by the way, who can't seem to run anywhere.
He might be running backwards, if anything. Josh Allen, a perfect 7-0 on Thursdays in his career. So let's go Bills, but let's get that Miami team total to the over 16.5. Prez, Charlotte and Rice to the under, and Josh Allen for his rushing yards over. Anything else for us?
Thanks for doing this. Is that a Kamara signed jersey behind you? What is that?
No, that is a Marvin Powell Jr. signed jersey.
Oh, beautiful. I have a whole room of signed jerseys. I got to show them one time, but I'm still finishing the studio. But Joe, thanks for doing this. And guys in the chat room, thanks for logging on. It's so appreciative. I'm so thrilled with how everything is going. I'm going to say goodbye. You got Carm and Trigger next. They're awesome. Lots of love, everybody. And, one last thing. I have a 5% play up for Sunday.
Okay.
It's my strongest NFL play so far this year. I've had 5% play in football this year. I won it. I absolutely freaking love this play. If you guys have never purchased from WagerTalk before, ever, so don't fake that you haven't, because we collect IP addresses. Don't change your email and pretend that you're a new first-time buyer. We're not stupid. If you have never purchased from WagerTalk before, you can have my strongest football play for $1. Just use the promo code NEWPREZ, NEWPREZ, new Prez. $1. Thank you, Joe.
Absolutely. Thanks, Prez, so much for joining us here on Last Call today. You guys make sure you join Prez also this weekend on End Zone. You don't want to miss out on everything that they have. I believe it is noon Eastern for that show. Live betting those games going on Sunday, and jump on over to wagertalk.com. If you're a new user, like he said, new Prez will get you his 5% play for just $1. Thanks, guys, for dropping those comments, those questions in the chat. Keep them coming. We're going to bring Carmine in next to go over what he's liking in the prop market. We will finish up with Adam Trigger. So drop your questions, drop your comments for them. Let's welcome Carmine into the show. Carmine, thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking around. I was worried maybe you're going to go.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm hanging out. I got a couple prop bets for you, and then I'm meeting all of the the boys, the Bills fan club. I'm wearing my my dark Josh Allen jersey, so I'm all decked out. But there's no bias in these props. So, Joe, one of the things I want to talk about, like Prez talked about the Tyreek Hill one, and this is one of my client plays as well too that I'm going to give out on the show as well too. Sorry if you hear some chirping in the background. That is my bird, not happy that I'm doing the show this late and not feeding him, but he's got plenty of food.
What kind of bird, Carmine? I need to know what kind of bird that is.
It is a suncheek canoer. So it is a suncheek canoer.
Beautiful.
I think the best I can do to show you what it looks like is to put that picture up. There it is.
Absolutely gorgeous bird.
On my microphone. And it's not happy I'm going out. My wife's out at work still. But you look at the game, and I don't want to touch the spread because there's so many backdoor options that could happen. It's a lot of points for the Bills as well too. But they're 6-0 straight up their last 6 meetings at home against the Miami Dolphins, averaging 37.7 points per game is what they're averaging. Their total for tonight, team total, is 30.5 points, minus 122. And they've hit 30 or more points in 7 of the last 8 games at home against the Dolphins. They seem to play the Dolphins. So if you're looking for one of those, it's not on my card just because it's at 30.5. And I just don't want to touch that part of it. But getting back to Tyreek Hill, more involvements last week, although it was in a loss to the Patriots. More targets for him, and he seems to have better games in Buffalo. And I think it's just because some of what I stated is the fact that they seem to trail a lot in Buffalo and lose big games. So you pick up those junk yards at the end where Tua is throwing for a lot of passes for yards. Tyreek Hill, you look at him the last 4 years. Last year, four receptions on 5 targets, 80 yards. 2023, 3 receptions on 5 targets, 58 yards. That's the worst number that he's had in the last 4 years. 2022, the Bills played them twice, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. 13 targets, 9 catches, 69 yards. And then in the playoffs, 15 targets, 7 catches, 69 yards. His total's at 64.5. And that's what I gave out to clients as well as a smaller play, a 2% play today on Tyreek Hill and his splits. Now, Joe, any thoughts on that one, first of all?
Yeah, I like Tyreek Hill tonight. I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a big night. You also look at him in Thursday night football games. He's been able to score a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 road appearances on Thursday night. Did you consider the touchdown at all, Carm?
I did. The touchdown ones are always so tough for some of these players. And I get it. Sometimes you'll see a Josh Allen one where he's like minus 150 and you're like, okay, well, the Bills are favored by 12 and the total's at 49.5, 50.5 at some places. Josh is going to score in close. He doesn't always have to. He does seem to do it in Buffalo. On the road, he doesn't. He just hand it off to James and let the man cook. But little pun there.
Liked it.
I'm just not going to take him. When I'm out with my friends, and we're probably going to end up doing this anyways, we love to all try the first touchdown scorer of the game and see if we can hit on one of those ones with someone who is not a short price, someone who's in that 15 to 20 to 1 range. And you can sometimes find them. I know that on Twitter, Circa Sports will always post that one. One other one before I strangle I'm not going to strangle the bird, but I'm going to throw some.
Don't strangle the bird.
That it's sorely is Ray Davis. So I get it. Ray Davis is not the starting running back for this Bills team, but his rushing yards over 26.5. Give me one quick second here.
Telling the bird to be quiet. It's always fun when you're telling the bird to be quiet.
I muted it. So I'm sorry about this. Ray Davis, over 26.5 rushing yards. He's only averaging 13 yards a game this season, and the number's at 26.5. That's got to tell you something. They expect the Bills to be up big in that second half, and then James Cook goes to the sidelines, and Ray Davis takes over in the second half and accumulates those yards. He may only have to bust 1 or 2 to get over that 26.5, but I do like that one. That is not a client play, but it is a play that I have bet on tonight.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. We have seen a couple of the books put it down to 23.5. So if you're looking, shop those lines. I'm seeing a 23.5 over at FanDuel. You talked about Josh Allen quick when Prez was on. We are seeing 28.5 for his numbers. So that one has bounced up a little bit. Are you concerned about his broken nose at all? We know Prez isn't.
No, he's going to be wearing the clear visor today under the helmet. So that is going to let the bird loose. He's on top of the cage behind me. He's waiting for some sunflower seeds. But I know, Anthony, it's annoying. I can't do anything about it. He was quiet for the whole day and then waited for me to go live on a video before he started chirping.
He's like a kid. He's like a kid.
Yeah.
If only we were talking about the Eagles, right? We could say it was an eagle sitting over your shoulder and you're backing them tonight.
Yeah, I have no worries about Josh. He's going to be wearing that clear visor. I don't think it's a problem. It hasn't been an issue during practice all week, so I don't see it being an issue here. The Dolphins just don't get enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And that's why, I think the game plan is, for Josh to try and get this team started from the get-go, get out to an early lead. And we may not even see Josh finish the game if they're up, multiple scores. And I'm talking like they're up 20 points in the fourth quarter. I think Josh gets one more series, and then we see Trubisky in there for the Bills. So with that said, I'm staying away from the Josh stats because whether it's passing, whether it's rushing, you have to factor in that if the Bills are winning and winning big, that you're going to lose a quarter on those stats. You're going to need to cash it in 3 quarters instead of 4. That is a possibility, and it's one I don't like.
Carmine, any hope at all that the Miami Dolphins can pull off an insane win here at plus 540 on the money line? I don't even think it's worth throwing some coffee money on it. But is there any recipe for the Miami Dolphins to get a win? I just don't see it happening.
I think it's just one of those scenarios where Miami would have to play their absolutely best game in the last 3-4 years, and the Bills would have to play their absolute worst game in 3-4 years. And it has happened, although it's a different team. We all remember the Bills going into Baltimore last season, and they were unprepared. Baltimore flattened them hard early and often, scoring. They couldn't stop Derrick Henry. They couldn't stop Lamar. They absolutely pancaked the Buffalo Bills. The Bills weren't even competitive that game. So can it happen? It could. Will it happen? I sure hope not.
Yeah, I sure hope not as well, because I did say if they won tonight, I'd probably put gravy on my shirt and eat it, because that's the chances I think they have of winning it. But Carmine, what have you got up for sale? What specials do you have running right now?
Yeah, the last couple of days of Champions League have been absolutely phenomenal. It's returned 3-0 sweep yesterday, 3-1 day today. So we're running really good with Champions League. They're off for a couple of weeks, so they're not back next week. But this weekend, that weekend warrior is going to come in handy this weekend. I have a college football best bet up, and dating back to the beginning of last season in college football, hitting 66.7% with best bet plays in college football. Have one loaded, and we had a winner last weekend as well with our best bet. So we're going to try and keep that run going. And then a big NFL card, which will get posted tomorrow. I'm waiting a little this week because I want to see the team's injury reports before I lay any vig or any juice or take any points or lay points. We need to see those injury reports. It's sort of like the San Fran one, San Fran in Arizona, although that's not one game that I'm sort of keyed on. Brock Purdy was at practice, but we'll see if he shows up on the Friday injury report or not. So they're saying he could play, but could play isn't what you want your money on. You want, yes, he will play, or if you're betting against them, yes, he won't play. So I just want to keep that in mind. So those plays will go up on Friday throughout the day, and the Weekend Warrior will get you those plays and then play on Monday as well too.
Yeah, and they're saying in the comments, all bird parlay, Falcons, Eagles, Seahawks, Cardinals, Ravens, all the money line plus 800.
I love it. Robot Glock Oh God, I wish I had like a robot Glock security system. Like I saw one on like TikTok or something where someone's trying to break into my car and I just log into the camera and just, all right, they're not coming back again. So that would be awesome. Great comment there, Robot Glock. I love that name.
Absolutely. Love it. Yeah. Carmine's got those props coming for you guys. Tyreek Hill over 64.5 receiving yards. And then Ray Davis over 26.5 rushing yards. Carmine, thank you so much for joining us here today on Last Call. Crush the books tonight. Enjoy the game out with your friends.
Thanks. You as well. Take care. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Thanks, Carmine. Okay, you guys, that was Carmine Bianco. Go over to WagerTalk.com to grab his best bets over there. Again, don't forget about that Weekend Warrior package that you can get over here at WagerTalk. Just $49. You'll get those 5% plays in a football for all of these handicappers. So you just pick your handicapper over there. Any 5% release play for only $49 for Saturday and Sunday. As a bonus, they're going to throw in any Monday plays as well as at no extra cost. So head on over to WagerTalk.com. We're going to bring in Adam Trigger now to see what he's thinking in tonight's Thursday night football game. So Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jo. It's an interesting game. I'll be honest, I tried all day to talk myself into the Dolphins and taking those 13 points. I'm quite a bit off on the number here. My number personally is closer to what the sort of look ahead opener was. I think maybe about a week ago when the look aheads came out, so like 9.5 or 10. I'm personally at 10.5. So it hit 13 very, very briefly. I thought about jumping in with the Dolphins. I didn't. It looks like some of the legals are at 12.5. I just checked DraftKings, and I know some of the other ones are as well. I didn't do it, but if I had to bet the side, it would be the Dolphins here. I just think that it's just far too big of an overreaction, in my opinion, on the number. Like, I've got the Dolphins still power rated ahead of the Jets. I know Buffalo was on the road last week, but they were a 5.5 point favorite at the Jets. Now we're turning around on a short week. Tends to be a little bit of an equalizer. A couple guys hurt, and they're laying 12.5 at home. I just think that's too much. I think that's too big of an overreaction. So lean Dolphins on the side for me.
Yeah, especially when you look AFC East rivalry matchup here. DraftKings does have the 12.5, you guys. So if you're looking for that 12.5, check it out there. There are 11s at Circa. So make sure you do shop those lines for sure. We're seeing Bill saying, hey, college basketball right around the corner, Adam. You're strong in that, right?
I will comment on that quickly. If you've watched Total Bases all year, I know we've kind of built up a nice little following. Total Bases is our 5-day-a-week show for baseball. Myself, Brian Leonard, and Tokyo Brandon. And we're going to roll that. Well, I'm going to roll that into college basketball. They're not, Brian Leonard may jump on every once in a while. Tokyo Brandon doesn't handicap college basketball. So I think, and again, I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to announce this yet, but if I don't have my two co-hosts, I don't know what I'm going to do because we're only a month away. So I believe it's going to be myself, Rob Bino, Brian Power, and we are going to essentially do the same type of show, but for college hoops. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. We're going to do it 5 days a week, weekdays. And we are, man, Jo, we're only about 40 days away right now. So college basketball starts first week in November, and I can't wait. And hopefully you guys join us 5 days a week is what we're planning on.
Oh, absolutely. And people want to make sure they're, following college basketball from the start and not just jumping in at March Madness. So love that you're going to have that show here on Wager Talk. Okay, so let's get back to this Thursday night football game. You think if you had to take a side, you'd grab that 13 with Miami if you can find it out there. But what are you thinking of this total? It did open at 48.5. We're seeing 50.5s out there. There are a couple of 49.5. So if you're liking an over, shop for that 49.5. But the 50.5, where are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a big number, and it does matter if you're getting a point or two worse than what the market is. I mean, I would absolutely want to shop around. Big enough difference between 50.5 and 49.5 where I would really want that 49.5. I do like the over. I heard, I don't disagree with a lot of stuff that the guy said before I came on. I think Prez is probably right about Josh Allen. I know that Buffalo has at times pretty much pleaded with him to not run and not sort of put himself in harm's way, and he'll be up. It'll be an 18-point lead, and he's out there lowering his shoulder, taking guys on. So I'm kind of with Prez in the respect that, like, even if this is a blowout, or even if it gets to that, like, you may still get the Allen rush yards. Where I think the points could come from in this game. So I think Dolphins over, like, Buffalo's going to be missing a couple of guys on defense. And the Dolphins offense looked better last week. So you go back to week 1, awful. Colts just blew them out. I don't think they scored until the very end of that game. I thought they took a little bit of a step forward. I know it was the Patriots, but still, move the ball a little bit more. And, the short week, Joe, tends to be, and it can be an equalizer, in my opinion. But what it also tends to favor is the better team. I think that's what ultimately kept me off playing the Dolphins plus 13 here. Only having the short week to prep can be tougher on the less talented team. And that would, in this case, would be the Dolphins. That being said, both teams have guys out on defense. The Dolphins moved it better last week, and we know that the Bills can move it on just about anyone. I think the Bills are an elite team this year. I think they have a chance to go to a Super Bowl. Being a Central New York native, that would be very exciting to me, where I'm in Bills country here out in Central New York. So, ultimately decided to stay off of both the side and total. If I had to do it, it would be the over. And then listen, Circa's kind of telling you where they stand. If they're sitting at 11, I mean, they're one of the sharper books out there. And right now you can get 11.5, and some of the more square shops are at 12.5. So I think that it would be Dolphins or nothing on the side for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The Dolphins are the nothing on the side. Okay, I want to talk the interception props here. I just want to throw it at you, Adam. Get your gut feel on this. We're looking at Tua to throw the interception at -174. Something we just can't back with that price. He has thrown a couple of interceptions. We've got Josh Allen, though, coming in here. Hasn't turned the ball over in the last 7. I don't see a way that he turns that ball over, but the books are only giving you +130 for him to throw the interception. Isn't that kind of weird? I would have thought we would have got at least like +190 when he's so solid and not turning that ball over. And he's might not even play the full game here, Adam.
I got to be honest. I think this is going to be a lot more, not play the full game. I'll be really surprised if the Bills are up enough where he's not in for the full game. I've been to this game like twice or twice in the last 3 years or so. One of the most fun times I've ever had a football game. Maybe it was, I think 2 years ago, it was Dolphins at Bills. It fell in December. My brother-in-law and I drove out in a huge snowstorm. And it was the game where, like, all the Bills fans just threw snowballs at Tua and the sideline. And the Dolphins sideline was more concerned about getting hit with snowballs than playing the game on the field. Phenomenal game. It was actually, I think Tua played great and the Bills won right at the end. Tua's actually played pretty good both times I've seen him play at Highmark Stadium, and he's had some success in this series. So again, I think he played a little bit better last week. I'd start to look at overs, just any way you can find a good way in on the over. Prez talked about Dolphins team total over. I think maybe some of the guys on the Dolphins that might not be the main pass catchers, looking for them over their receiving yards, because I think you look at a game like this and it's hard to believe that the Dolphins are leading for like a lot of this game. I think they could hang around. Maybe they have a chance to steal it, but it would be surprising to me if they're leading for like long periods of time in this game. So if you do get the game that Vegas is suggesting, which is a double-digit type score, Miami's going to be throwing the ball a lot, might be checking it down, maybe A-chain over receiving yards. There's a number of ways you can go with that. I would look at just about anything over. And since the Bills are so juiced to everything relative to the over, I think that what makes sense is either to take the full game over and just hope it gets there, which it very well could, or look at some of those Dolphins overs, Dolphins team total, some of their tight ends, whoever's going to be listed on that tight end prop to go over their yardage, because I do think he's going to have to check it down, and Milano's not in there. So the middle of the field is a little bit more open than it usually is.
Oh, I like where you're going with that. If you guys are looking at Achan for his numbers, his receiving prop is only 42.5. It's at -112. I'd rather take him than Waddle, because we know Waddle plays injured. We were going to see if he was going to play right before the game, and I think he'll play no matter what. That's at 48.5. But Malik Washington coming in at 24.5, and then going all the way down to Tanner Connor. His number is only 12.5, Adam. So that's a light number for him. And noting on that, I do like Knox, though, of the Buffalo Bills. His receiving prop's only 15.5.
Yeah, I just want to. Bill makes a good point in the chat. He says he's a Dolphins fan, so I totally like trust Bill's opinion there. But I'll let him respond in the comments. He says McDaniel's not fooling anyone with all the bubble screens he likes to run, which I somewhat agree with. Except I'm pretty sure he's had some success against the Bills over the years. Maybe not so much in the win-loss column, because I know the Dolphins have lost some close games to this Bills team, but like against the spread and just in this matchup in general, I feel like McDaniel's done well from a preparation standpoint. He's mostly been an underdog. I think there was a playoff game a couple years back that the Dolphins had some success in. So even though they're not getting over the hump and winning some of these, again, the one that comes to mind was the game I was at a couple years ago. Dolphins 7-point favorite, covered easily, led a lot of that game, and sort of let it go right at the end. The last few years too, when they come up here, it's usually cold, miserable, snowing. I can't believe how hot it is outside in central New York right now. I've been complaining. It's like 80 degrees every day. I want fall. I like the cold, Joe. I'm not someone that does well with the heat. And it's been like really hot. It still feels like summer. So the Dolphins are kind of getting, I think, a little bit of a reprieve in that scenario. They typically get sent up here, at least it feels like it, in December, cold, snowing. Right now, it's a beautiful night out, so no weather issues for them. I think this is more favorable to the Dolphins than maybe the market is suggesting here.
Okay, then Bill is asking you any live betting tips. For me, that betting tip would be if the Buffalo Bills win the coin toss and don't defer, they drive it down, get a touchdown, then bet Miami. What are your thoughts on anything live here, Adam?
Yeah, so I'll answer his question and I'll talk about live. So he says this year's team isn't what they were. Totally agree. But also this year's team's catching 12.5. Dolphins teams of the past I don't think were ever like a 2 touchdown favorite in this matchup. Maybe 6 or 7 points, not 2 touchdowns. So I think you're getting like the adjustment for that. As far as live betting, I mean, if these teams are coming out and moving the ball on each other, I think that's going to last all game. I think, Bill's missing two defensive starters. I think if the Dolphins are having some success moving it, that's going to be, kind of prevalent throughout the game. And the Bills are one of those teams that can move it on anyone. So even if the Bills were to like maybe come out slow and you could get a better number on the over, at some point that offense is going to start humming. They're going to score some points. So, that would be the live betting angle for me. Like, if moving the ball doesn't lead to points early, let's say it's like they move the ball, Tua turns it over, maybe they have to settle for a field goal, maybe the teams trade field goals. I'm jumping on the over live right there because you're going to get a much better number.
Okay, like where you're going with that. We do have a question about anytime touchdowns out there. Is there anyone that you're really liking to get in the end zone tonight?
I'll keep it on the Bills side here. And this really is just a gut feel for me. I think Keon Coleman maybe gets one tonight. And the reason I say that is I remember when they drafted him, I know it was like Josh Allen really wanted him when they drafted him. And his progress has been a little bit slower. He's been kind of hit or miss. Every once in a while, I'll have a big game. Started off, I think week 1, he had a good game against the Ravens, not so much last week. But I know Allen kind of, he's someone that Allen likes. I feel like he was probably involved in the decision-making process to draft him. I believe 2 years ago, they drafted him with their first round pick. So feels to me like he's like, maybe this is the year where he breaks out a little bit. But even if he doesn't, that Allen still might try to get him more reps than he's got the past couple of seasons. So I'll call him anytime touchdown. I'm not sure what it is, but that one feels right to me. I feel like he gets one today.
Okay, I like where you're going with that. So you've got total bases during the week, 5 days a week. What else do you have going on? What do you have for sale up on WagerTalk.com, Adam?
Yeah, like Carm was talking about that weekend warrior pass. Like for me, it's going to get all my football plays. I didn't play anything tonight or tomorrow for football. So all of my plays will be Saturday or Sunday this week. And, any 5%ers I release right about up a couple units, I think, overall in football right now, college and pro, ahead in the NFL, down a little bit in college. But I've already locked in a 4%er for Saturday. I'm going to put up a couple of NFL plays as well. And that gets you all of them. So that's a great sort of special we're running this week. And you should check it out. If not for me, one of the other handicappers. It's good value regardless of who you use it on. So check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us here on Last Call. All the best in all of your bets. Crush the books tonight.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Enjoy the game.
Thank you. Okay, you guys. So we're looking not much movement over on Odds Logic. Make sure you always have those screens open when we're doing last call here. Like we stated at the start of the show, that total 48.5 was where it opened. 50.5 still hanging around out there. Those 49s are gone. So if you did like the over 49.5, hopefully you got it as this show did kick off. Now that spread went from the Dolphins grabbing 9.5 all the way up to 12.5 right now. There is still a 12.5 on DraftKings. We know Adam was strong behind if it had to be anything to grab the 12.5. We also heard the Prez saying he liked their team total over the 16.5, laying a little bit of juice there. We had Carmine jump in with some props. Carmine Bianco rolling with a couple of props here for us. He took Tyreek Hill over 64.5 receiving yards at -113. Ray Davis over the 26.5 rushing yards. And we did hear Prez come at us with Josh Allen as well over on his rushing props. I got a couple of bets that I want to throw out at you guys. So make sure you still drop those questions, drop those comments as we just wrap up things here. I want to thank you guys, though, joining us here on Wager Talk for Last Call. We are live Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sundays for Last Call. So make sure you always get those in. And yeah, Ross the Boss has been just crushing it in college plays. You definitely want to check out that Weekend Warrior Pass to grab his college plays. 4-0 last Saturday, you guys. So I'm glad, Danny, you were able to get in on that weekend pass. But looking at what I'm liking, there were a couple of trends that really stuck out for me. I like Buffalo. I like what we saw out of them. I like the heart of that team and Josh Allen's never say die attitude. We know what they were able to do in week one, that comeback win versus the Baltimore Ravens. And I expected the Jets last week to stay more competitive with them because I didn't expect the Buffalo Bills off that big win to run up the score. We know that they did, and they absolutely steamrolled over the Jets. And I'm kind of concerned here that they're going to do the same thing to Miami. I just can't trust Miami, especially on a short week. I think Mike McDaniels is struggling as a head coach, and I'm shocked he wasn't let go because I kind of look at it as, well, he couldn't win last weekend. He was destroyed the weekend before as well. How much is he really going to be able to impact this team on a Thursday night football game on a short week? I would have let him go, but that's just me. And I understand why they didn't, because it is a short week. You need your coaching staff to be on point the best they can. But I think he is just a dead man walking out there. And I feel for him. I really do. Can I see them staying competitive for their head coach? I don't think this team has the love for Mike McDaniels, and maybe I'm wrong, but they did have a players only closed door meeting. So I can't touch anything here for the team total for Miami, but I will look at this game for the first half. The first half has a total 25.5, you guys, and I like that to the over. I'm expecting the Bills to put up the majority of those points, but if we can get a touchdown or a couple of field goals out of the Miami Dolphins, then I think we easily cruise over the 25.5. So I'll take the over 25.5. I'm also looking for Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins to get in the end zone. We know his frustration out there, and I think he'll be able to do so. His anytime touchdown coming in at +170. We know he has the wheels, you guys. So look for him to get in the end zone. And then Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills. I'm looking for him to get in the end zone tonight. He's coming in at +270 to be able to do so. So those are my best bets. Again, you guys, we are here live on Last Call every Monday, Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday. Monday and Thursday, we're right before kickoff at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you always join us here over on Wager Talk. Hit that like, hit that retweet, and hit that subscribe and notification button so you don't miss out on any of the free content over here on Wager Talk. But I appreciate you guys so very much for joining me here. Stay hot. Let's make some freaking money, and all the best in your Thursday night football bets. Drop below this video as well what you're liking in tonight's matchup. Remember, bragging rights are always on the line, you guys. So if you're dropping a first touchdown, whatever you're dropping out there, we will give you props on the next show if you're cashing those big tickets. So let us know, you guys. We'll see you. I'll see you on Monday.